Welcome to the In My Opinion Show with Ronald Barrington Robinson and friends, seen on the internet 24 hours, 7 days a week. I want to introduce our very talented co-host. We have Miss Jackie Williams.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. We have Mr. Henry Hatter.
Hi, Ron, Jackie.
And welcome to our millions of viewers worldwide. Let's talk about Trump wants to roll back environmental regulations. Why? This is wrong, especially in view of this nation's weather conditions and 195 other nations voted for climate controls. Why he wants to roll back these regulations is beyond my comprehension. Henry, what is your thoughts on this?
I'm glad you asked me this because, as you know, I believe in global warming. I've always told people, I told Republicans I believe in. I told everybody because I'm an environmental engineer. And I will cut through the chase really, really quickly here. The president, there are some initiatives that the president wants to accomplish. One is building the wall. The other is rebuilding the infrastructure. These are some sober and well-deserving issues to think about as he looks for money to do this. So you have to cut somewhere else to generate the money to take care of these other undertakings. Building a wall will cost millions of dollars. Rebuilding the infrastructure, rebuilding the military, all of those things will take humongous dollars that we don't have. So you got to cut someplace. It's going to be like things resting on a totem pole or on a seesaw. If you take one off here, you got to put one over here. Take one off over here to keep it balanced. So I believe that this is why he says, well, the EPA has already have a lot of enemies in this country, and those are businessmen. Those are clergy. They are citizens who are convinced that the EPA interferes with their life. They make them buy hunting license. They make them buy fishing license and stuff like that and increase. So the cost of doing business for Americans on the EPA has increased and people are resisting it. I'm surprised the EPA has lasted this long. This strategy has been on the board to completely disassemble EPA for 30 years. People have always wanted to do that. But we can thank our young people who work for environmental organizations that still exist. And think about, and this is why I'm opposed to this. The Great Lakes, the largest body of water, fresh water in the world. You don't want to risk contaminating that. Not during our generation or any other generation. We need to make sure that our soils are free so that we can have free of contamination as much as possible so that we can grow crops for the future. Who knows? We're no longer the industrial nation of the world that's moved overseas. We may become the agricultural community because we're in the equatorial belt, the most ideal place to grow vegetables, to grow food for the nation and for the world. And so we have a lot of opportunity. We have to protect this land. And when they went to the moon, and I don't remember the astronaut who says, there's no place like planet Earth. Look at her out there. There's no other place in the universe like her. Of course, we don't know that for sure, but it's a good assumption right now. And I believe that we need to protect the earth. We need to protect it because it will take care of you. If you take care of the earth, it will take care of you. Yeah. It will regenerate itself. But you can do too much extraction of minerals and oils and so on and so forth from the earth that you will gradually destroy it. And the earth, by natural causes, will go to its conclusion in which it will not be able to produce anything over time. There's a time out there in the future
Right.
where we will not be able, the earth will not be fit for anything. But we hasten that time when that happens. Now, people who don't believe in global warming, they say Henry's full of poop, you know. But all scientists who understand this process and have demonstrated in the laboratory do say that this is a reality.
Right.
And so I'm going to support retaining the EPA and let the EPA do the job that it's done. What the EPA has done to justify its existence, it has helped in many ways to improve the quality of life for us. Mm-hmm. It has helped to improve the increase in our lifestyles. I mean, the increase in longevity.
Right.
I just saw a statistic yesterday where they have longevity for Americans at 79 years old. Now remember, at the turn of the century, longevity was less than 50. At the turn of the 20th century.
People are living longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we need to keep the EPA, we need to keep it functional, and we need to keep it alive and vibrant.
And the regulations current.
And we need to. Now, there may be regulations out there that may be frivolous.
Well, one of the regulations that Obama, during his era, he pushed for was the gas. And that has benefited Americans because during Obama's administration, they pushed for us to have more efficient cars. Gas efficient,
Yeah.
so you're not polluting the air. And what did that do? It drove the industry where people are now buying trucks again, because at one time, because of the gas prices, they weren't buying trucks. So things push other things, and this is what happens when you're not well-rounded, and that's what I would say about Trump administration, because they said it's the most inexperienced administration, is because they lack the knowledge of what's really going on abroad, because they don't have any scientists on board. They laid off all the scientists, and the EPA director, he is the one that sued them over several times of trying to back down some of the regulation. So it's important that we have the EPA because they were the ones that spotted the Asian fish that was killing all of the other fish. Asian carp, that was killing all the other fish. And if you notice in the industry, everything drives. At my favorite place, Famous Dave's, they no longer had catfish where you can reasonably buy it because it was so expensive because the Asian carp were eating and infecting all of the fish. We would have never known that had the EPA had not done their job. So we need to understand, sometimes you have to make a board and make it plain for people, everyday people, to understand how important it is for them to be there, or just like they said, to protect the bodies of, the Great Lakes. If you destroy and let them get contaminated, do you not know how long it's going to take for you to get that back in order? If you take away the regulations of the Great Lakes, all of these bodies of water, and they're not even checking to see if they're contaminated, and you don't know where they go, and so you'll find that out in the wrong way.
I'd say EPA is one of the best functioning bodies in government.
Exactly, and I know I want to write this down that I'm agreeing with you, Henry, but I'm on your team today.
Well, thank you. But
because I agree, this is important, and regardless to what people are pushing for, they protect Americans, because just like Michigan is reserving cans, that's not because we want to give you 10 cents, but we're giving you an incentive to not have to bury all of these things, but we can use this again and recycle. So these are things that are important. This is where recycling comes from, so that we're not just burying a lot of garbage, but we're reusing these.
Burying our resources.
Yes. Yeah. So it's an educational point. I think we need to express to people why we do what we do, because everybody don't understand that.
No, let's go out on a limb.
Oh, no, we're not gonna be
I have
friends.
not done any research on this, nor have I seen any research. But I can predict, based upon what I already know, that should we destroy the EPA, the baseline for life expectancy is established now. It will not rise.
That's right.
It'll probably decline. But who cares, because we won't be around to witness it.
Now, who was it that, you remember how when we were little, our parents drove us in the car with the windows rolled up with the smoke?
Yeah.
Remember they realized that was dangerous, and we no longer,
Secondhand smoke,
you know what I mean, secondhand smoke. Had it not been for those type of studies, we would still be contaminated.
But doesn't that just give you a sense of ability to be able to predict that if we destroyed the EPA, our life expectancy would go down?
Yes, I totally agree. But again, if I am not well-rounded and I'm not educated on the significance of this EPA, then I don't value it because I don't understand what it does. And instead of me trying to learn Donald Trump, you are just trying to get rid of things that you don't understand, that don't make sense to your current position. But you are not just the president of people who are businessmen. You're the president of people who are just regular civilians.
But I want to clarify something here. I still support Donald Trump.
See, we were on the same team until then. Thank you, Henry.
Well,
and I still do not.
You know,
so, okay.
I just wanted to let you know.
I know you just wanted to ruin my day, but that's fine.
But
that's fine.
Usually you should stay on your team blind. But
you crossed over to my team, and I appreciate it. The Democrat team. Thank you.
You know, Henry, you said something about the wall.
yeah.
I can categorically say that wall will never get built.
Okay, we want to write that down.
It will never get built.
Now remember, I'm on the Trump team.
Okay. Well, he ain't gonna be around much longer.
And
either.
just a little information in case you forgot. He's replacing people daily.
and the thing is we're in the stage now where I think more people, the scientists has already proven the fact that, you know, it's all about renewable energy, all right? Through the windmills, through solar, okay, the ocean waves. I mean, coal is on the way out. So all those folks in the coal belt, if you think you're going to get new jobs, you're not, okay? Because that industry.
If you got rid of the EPA,
that industry is slowly dying, okay? Unfortunately. So I would suggest that, you know, you go back to college or high school, what have you, and you know get another trade, because those mines are you know, they're closing every day.
But they're updating them. What Henry are they updating the mines with? Because they no longer have the mines, but they're updating that where you still are needed, but you just have to shift what your job description will be. You will no longer be in the coal mines, but you could still be in that industry, but you just have to do the new things that are required.
we're going to use coal for hundreds of years. Yeah.
No, not. I don't
Unless
buy
you
that.
replace it with atomic energy, which people are really,
If you know, the thing about it, if you go up on the other side of Saginaw, thousands of windmills. If you go to Canada, tens of thousands of windmills.
But they can't barely touch our demand for energy.
Sure they can. If you go out here on,
I will go on the internet and I'll show you that.
Excuse me, on 14. All right, DTE. I mean, it must be a mile long solar panels. All right, I've got solar at my house. Okay. That's the name, you know, that's the name of the game now, is solar. And it might cost a few dollars more to get it installed, but in the long run, you can't beat it.
Right.
All right, you can't beat it. Because the waves are free, the wind is free, the sun is free. Okay?
Well, even the light bulbs. Think about the light bulbs.
Exactly.
The light bulbs, they're changing the light bulbs. Matter of fact, I think they are making
got some in
the
here.
old light bulbs, they're not even going to be able to buy those.
But guys, you don't know how much. I mean, you haven't thought about how much energy 1 pound of coal will produce compared to the energy that comes from the sun that has to be converted multiple times into useful form, and enough of it to do what 1 pound of coal does.
But how much more can our environment take?
I
with
know.
its
I'm not
pollution?
talking about that.
You know?
But you're right.
What goes up has got to come down.
Yeah.
It's polluting our lakes, our lands. Okay.
I don't disagree with that. You're talking to the choir now. But I'm saying that it's going to be a tough sell to get the businessman to continuously invest multiple millions of dollars into the production of instruments that give us energy from the sun.
Well, they need
and wind.
to start thinking
Just
differently.
take one
all
chunk
right?
of coal and you can fire up your house for an hour.
They need to start thinking differently. All right, instead of
I know,
instead of
yeah.
greed. Okay, instead of greed,
Yeah.
Right.
think about future generations, and I don't think they are. All right.
They
Yeah.
think about it financially
You know
because
what I mean?
they'll say that the debt is too big for our kids to be left to our kids, but the earth is too valuable for us not to leave anything to our children.
Yeah.
Meaning that it's going to be destroyed if we don't take
Yeah.
care of it.
And Maran, and let me go back just for a minute and digress just for a minute. You talked about the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't ever going to be built.
Never.
Okay, but most people don't want the wall. Most
Right.
Republicans don't want the wall.
Sure they do. They keep advocating it all the time. This idiot Trump.
But stop
You know what
and
I
think
mean?
about. Have you ever looked at the other side of the issue, Ron? We can only take so much immigration into this country unless you destroy the quality of life for the people who live here.
That's a myth.
No,
I don't
it's
I don't
not a
believe
myth.
that. That's a lie that you Republicans keep repeating over and over and over and over that it's taking jobs. There is no proof. Okay, there's no proof that that's a fact.
But at any time you
All right.
fill up a cage full of rats and you don't have any room for the space between you and don't have the resources to feed them, they soon turn on each other.
We're not talking about rats. We're talking about human beings.
Human beings the same way.
Okay.
Why do you think we have war? It's a fight for resources.
But last I checked, a lot of jobs that are being taken up by the immigrants are not even jobs that are even on the
I know.
scale that we
Yeah.
would take. But
Yeah.
people don't want to talk about that. But we need to talk about it because they
Yeah.
do things that Americans don't even
I'm
want to do.
for immigration.
It's some people that don't even want to do regular jobs, let alone
Our
jobs
quality
that
of
they think
life-
that are not on their level.
Our quality of life would not be where it is if it weren't for the Mexicans.
Right. Because they
And
do
other-
things
and
that
you know
we're not really interested in doing, and
But-
they do a good job. They're hard workers.
But the Mexicans
and don't take
allow
that away from
us
them.
to be privileged.
Yes.
We'll let them do the things that we don't do.
But then see,
But not just Mexicans. I mean, we have all type of backgrounds that do different jobs that come here to get established.
Yeah. And this is the place to be.
exactly.
You don't wanna be anywhere else.
Right.
And let's not pigeonhole, Hispanics and Mexicans and people from South America.
Oh,
all
but-
right.
They are our
That-
resources. We need
That-
those people.
Exactly.
Right.
They're in all facets of
But we're not
work,
getting rid of
all right?
anybody.
Doctors, nurses,
the thing.
psychologists.
Yeah, because they're on the payroll of your what is the guy that was in Texas that didn't want to talk about it, but he was they were on his payroll. What's his name that was in Texas? And he had more immigrants on his payroll than any.
I remember the incident, but I don't remember the person.
Yeah.
Trump's got him immigrants working in his hotels.
Yeah. And
yeah, and
Okay.
he's claiming
He's a businessman.
And he's claiming no because
He's holding down the cost of
he's
doing
a
business.
Hypocrite
There's nothing wrong with that.
But he's a hypocrite because he's saying they're taking away jobs that American want. But he go over and get a special visa for them to come here during the season just so he can have workers on his golf course. Who said that regular Americans don't want to do that job? Who says?
Well,
He doesn't want to pay.
you got to take whatever the going rate is. And he's not going to pay above the going rate.
He's not going to pay the rate.
He may not pay at all.
Well,
I mean, look at all of the bankruptcies. He's had multiple bankruptcies.
but that's why he's a
tens of-
businessman. He
how
takes
in the heck
risks.
can you be a good businessman? You know what I mean?
The only reason that we're not
you-
sitting on the side of Trump is we don't take risks. We're afraid.
to become a
Who's not
millionaire, I
afraid
would take
to do
some. I would
bankruptcy?
take some risks.
Some people don't want to just take bankruptcy every year. Some
You know what I
people
mean?
just want to be able to handle things that they need to handle.
And I don't want to owe people, and I don't want to screw people. All right, like those students in his so-called college.
Well-
all right, you know what I mean? His so-called other businesses.
I'm not saying that there are things that we should not do as Americans to other people to reduce their status or their right to a job and a quality of life.
Right.
But it does happen. This is how things, when we put the country together, it wasn't put together with a Bible. It wasn't put together with an architect's rules. It was put together by accident and force.
That's what you say.
Yeah, I do.
and
I do say that.
That's your theory because
Yeah, I do.
they said this country was founded on the principles of God.
I know that's true.
Okay, but that's what they said.
and,
So
Okay.
and based upon immigrants.
yeah,
Well, of
Yes.
course, without those people coming from Europe, we
because
wouldn't-
none of us belong here. We
But
all,
We're all immigrants.
yeah, we're all immigrants.
No, you guys are immigrants. I was born here.
Well,
My folks
our,
were born
our
here.
history.
This is my
our
country.
It's mine too, but our
No,
history.
ours-
And the people who mixed with my blood were born here.
That
they
might
came
be
from
true,
Europe.
but historically.
But I'm a new man.
No, they came.
I'm not.
You a new man.
I'm a new man. I'm a new individual that never existed before. When those people brought those people from Europe and those who came to Africa, they created a new man. I mean, a new woman. Man and woman.
And where
Now,
where
you
can I
stop
find
and think
that
about that.
information? Did you just
Stop
make
and
that
think
up,
about that.
Henry?
No, that's genealogy.
Okay, but I'm just saying. But still, you
Well,
said
We never existed
If
before.
you're talking about genealogy,
Yeah,
all right,
genealogy,
then let's
yeah.
get to the real facts.
Well,
Africa
yeah.
is the cradle of civilization.
Okay.
All right, so that's where your blood runs.
No,
every human being on this planet, all right, has got black blood. Has got black blood in them. You
Oh.
ever see that stuff on TV where
Folks, I have no.
where they look
I'm not arguing this.
where they look and see their genealogy and stuff.
and run
Well,
off the camera.
Yeah, I'm from Sweden. I'm from or Native American or this, that, whatnot. But if you look at it real closely, what they leave out, all right, your ass came from Africa. You know what I mean?
This is a great argument. Makes me feel good that everybody else has to have part of my genes. But there are other people that dispute that.
Of course.
They say that all people from Europe
Are
and from-
pure.
and Asia were descendants of the Cro-Magnon man.
Right.
Okay? But we were not.
Because we were less. Remember?
I don't know about
No,
that.
no,
I'm
they
letting
said
you
that
guys
we were,
say that.
No,
I'm letting
no,
you guys.
they said that we were
I'm sorry,
less.
Neanderthals, not
That's
Cro-Magnon.
right. That's right.
Did you hear?
Yes.
Yeah,
Of course.
Neanderthal. So, you
Cro-Magnon
argue,
man
you
and all
argue
that
that
stuff.
these people.
But remember
Came
the
from
Constitution.
Africa.
Remember the reason why they had some of the laws is because they said that we were not as smart as.
But that's not what history tells us.
No, I'm just saying what they tried to make the laws. That's why they said that we needed direction because we were not as smart as other Americans. Remember?
Well, we don't demonstrate it often, but we were.
No,
there.
I'm saying back then we didn't
Yeah.
have a right to demonstrate it because you didn't give us the same opportunities. We didn't get to go to school. We had to have school in the back of the field.
But that's not even a good argument because
Yes, it is.
when they went and pulled us out of the jungles and stuff like that in Africa, in the plains, there were no buildings, there were no schools, there were no electric lights, there were no running water, there was no cars or boats or whatever. That stuff came from derivatives from other places. So this is how people defined what intelligence was.
It didn't come from Europe
It
either.
doesn't. Yes, it did.
No.
Yes, it
in the
did.
beginning, absolutely not. All right.
I don't want to.
That's why in Black
They were still
history they
living in-
have that
in
one
caves.
skit that says, if a black man or a black woman was never created, what would you not have? And so they have it where you would not have you wouldn't have the street lights, you wouldn't have, because it was talking about all of the,
Oh yeah.
all of the different
This
things
is
that
later,
black
but
people
but when
had
when we went to the jungles and brought immigration here, they found a different picture there. And that's okay with me, because I know that we have the same capacity as everybody else. Now, you
That's
guys
right.
don't know that.
Oh,
but
I know that. Who don't know that?
You have about
Your race
13.
don't know that?
You have about 13,000 cc's of brain matter. So does
No, we
everybody
all
else.
possess 23
Yeah,
chromosomes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's stop
Okay.
and think about it. We have the same brain capacity, same brain cells.
That's right. That's
Everything.
right.
We can do anything that anybody else does.
That's right. And
Mind
all,
over
and all
matter.
that is white supremacy that they're trying to project on people. To
No,
make-
that's
to
what
make
you
a-
are accepting.
No, I'm not. I don't
They're
accept it.
projecting on it. You are accepting that. I'm sorry, folks. This is what an
You weren't supposed to hear that.
You can't go around
Behind the
accepting
scenes,
everything,
Ron.
everything that you hear, Ron. You can't. Gee whiz, let's grow up and get on the platform.
That's what you came with.
Yeah. I never believed that,
Right, I still don't believe it. I don't believe
but Ron does.
No, I don't.
Well, I
No,
think
don't.
that's where we're trying to go right now. I think they want us to understand.
No,
that
not
we're
all
the-
of them.
Well,
Yeah,
not
hold it,
everybody,
hold it,
but I'm
hold it.
saying some people in position want us to think that we're the underdogs, so we can go back to where they're comfortable with us being. Because as long as because some people again believe that their position is higher. So regardless to them having education, think about the people that follow Trump. They were the uneducated, people that were displaced out of workplaces. So they feel like regardless to what was going on, they should have higher paying jobs.
With that, we must end this segment of the In My Opinion show. It's been very interesting. I've learned a lot. I want to thank you, Jackie, and I want to thank you, Henry.
Thank you, Ron, for learning a lot.
For your information. This is Ronald Barry Robinson saying until next time, stay focused.